Yes, guys, welcome back to Till I Die TV. My name is Jacob. We are here with Charlie, and this is your day after video after Chelsea lost 2-1 at Craven Cottage. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, all good. Obviously, not a great evening last night. Things aren't going particularly well at the moment, but yeah, all good, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to ask you. I mean, first of all, are you blue coat out? Obviously, I know I'm not in a sense where it's like realistic. And are you going to go to the protest and like, what's your stance on the whole situation?
Yeah, mate, I'll be there. I'll be at the protest. It's the right thing to do. Uh, I think a lot of people will be there. I think a lot of Chelsea fans are united in the way that they feel about the ownership and the way that the club's being run right now. And I think obviously you're not going to get them to leave, but that's not
No.
the objective. The objective is
Mhm.
to get them to try and change what they're doing. Like, only needs a few tweaks, only needs a little bit of listening. But yeah, no, the
Mhm.
protest is important. It's important you get your voice heard. It's important as fans that you continue to put pressure on these people, and hope you can enforce change in some way.
No, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I mean, I one thing I would say though is I feel like what people want and the way they're hoping what they're going to get out of the protest is probably slightly different for a lot of people. You ask, and also like I'll be going to a protest. I'm like well for it, like and everything. I'll explain a few of my reasons in a minute, but I also like it's a difficult one. Obviously, I do the YouTube. You do the YouTube as well. The last protest was mocked and called a bit of a YouTube protest. So it's going to be. It's important that all the sort of Chelsea vloggers and amazing people just sort of take part without just phone filming everything. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think look, the last one, had some sort of impact. It was covered by the media and whatnot. But I get the feeling this one has been organised,
Yeah.
in a slightly better way. It seems a bit more official. It seems a bit more professional, for want of a better word. It seems like there's a bit more of a plan behind it. There's a document out, detailing the points and whatnot and things like that. So hopefully there'll be a really good turnout, and hopefully it
Mm.
will it'll keep the pressure up, and hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah, hopefully we won't hear any what do you think of Tottenham's or any of them leaks coming.
No, but I think as well, people need to be like, if you're going to go, you need to be
Yeah.
prepared as well. Because if you're going to speak to media, if you're going to speak on camera about it, you need to know exactly what you're talking about. And you need to know exactly what you're saying. You don't want situations like last time where people are getting caught out on in national media and whatnot, and things like that. So if you're going to speak, make sure you're kind of brushed up and on things that are going on, because that also kind of loses a bit of credibility if you don't really know what you're talking about.
I get what you're saying. Obviously, like people are gonna have different views on it and stuff, but I'm not. I'm not saying everyone should talk like they're on Sky Sports, but you are right. Like people need to at least have a clue what they're saying. Obviously, people will probably be drinking alcohol at the thing. I think, I think to proper send a clear message, maybe people slow down on that for the protest a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think look, it's at 1 o'clock. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, as long as it's peaceful, it's respectful and whatnot, then yeah, I think it should have a good impact, and I think it will. I think it will go well.
Yeah, no. I also just want to say quickly, there's been a lot of like football tragedies and stuff happening today. I don't know if you've seen. I'm gonna football. I'm trying to think of his name. There's been one sec. Kevin Keegan. That's it. He's been diagnosed with cancer, and I think there was a Tottenham legend that had died today as well. So I think we should send our prayers to the families and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely agree.
And now, obviously, talking about a Fulham game. I mean, I think I think the interim manager tried. I think he tried. Obviously, he's now got the assistant manager's job, right? Um, but really, should we be in that situation in the first place with that Liam McFarlane?
Well, look, obviously not Mo, because you don't plan for a manager to walk out partway through the season. That's never part of the plan at any football club. I didn't have too many issues with them yesterday. I thought the starting lineup, I didn't have a problem with that. Obviously, I probably would have started Reece,
Yeah,
but obviously, hear all this stuff about medical team having a lot of input in minutes and whatnot, and indirectly as a result of that in team selection. So that might be down to that why Reece didn't play. But I think the rest of the team, I was happy with that. We had Santos in the midfield. Enzo pushed a little bit higher up. I was a bit surprised to see Tosin in. I didn't think Badia Shield was that bad again. I mean, he wasn't great against City, but I don't know if he needs to be rotated out again. And then, yeah, the forward line kind of picked itself. Obviously, the red card in the first half from Kukurea, but I don't know what he's doing. It's just so poor from him. It's such a, lack of discipline. It's poor decision making. It's not reading the game. It's not understanding the situation that you're in, and that totally shifts the dynamic of the game completely. Like even with the 11, we weren't playing amazingly well. We weren't dominating or anything. We were fine by our recent standards. But I think the one thing that I think probably McFarlane did get wrong was we needed to get some wingers on the pitch. Cole Palmer was struggling. His form's not been great recently. And Neto has been in awful form recently and was again poor last night. And you got three wingers sitting on the bench and you didn't use a single one of them. So I would say that in-game management, the substitutions weren't great. But, when you're playing over an hour with 10 men in the Premier League away from home, it's difficult to get a result.
no, yeah, no. I think what you said completely fair, obviously. And what you said about the wingers, like, I agree. Like, even though I know Palmer has showed really good signs on the wing before, we spend what, like, how much? We spent like 90 million on left wingers, right? And Palmer's playing.
Well,
Palmer,
Palmer played on the right.
yeah.
Neto was
Well,
obviously
that's
on the
what I'm
left.
saying.
Yeah.
But we're having two players out of position on both wings because Nato's a right winger naturally. He can play
Yeah.
left wing, but doesn't it show that obviously the ownership model obviously isn't really working, or at least they're not really bringing logical players? Because like I get that they want to make profit and stuff. As I've always said, like as much as football clubs are football club, the business side does come into it, right? Which I understand, but then at the same time, when you're literally spending how many 100 million on attackers, and then both wingers are playing out of position. And obviously, there's been rumours that Neto, apparently the owners want to sell him next season, and it does start to make you think. Like, it just makes me think. I can't wait for that protest. If I'm being honest, I'm just getting more frustrated.
Yeah, there's a deep sense of frustration. Obviously, things aren't going well on the pitch right now. There's a big disconnect between the ownership and the fans, and
Yeah,
yeah, we're kind of struggling in all aspects of the club. Where obviously a mess off the pitch, on the pitch, things aren't going very well at all. And yeah, look, the winger situation is kind of a strange one because when Maresca, obviously Lorenzo Maresca likes touchline wingers, you need to be very good 1v1 in his system to play as a winger. And we signed wingers who aren't good 1v1. Neto's not good 1v1. Garnacho's not good 1v1. Gittins doesn't seem to be particularly good 1v1. Palmer is not an out-and-out winger. Like, yes, last night he was kind of playing almost as a touchline winger in that first half, and it just wasn't having an impact. It wasn't working. Second half, he grew into the game a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, look, maybe it screams of a lack of trust in the other options that you've got on the pitch, got on the bench potentially. But over the last two games, how Neto's played 180 minutes is kind of beyond me. So yeah, it will be interesting to see kind of what wingers Rossignol looks to go with, what combinations he goes with, who his preferred choice might end up being. But yeah, we have got problems in the wide areas in terms of lack of quality and just players not in form.
yeah. No, I completely agree with what you're saying. Obviously, that like this is probably quite a shocking stat, but there's 3 teams above us that have been in the Championship in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. What, Villa, Brentford, and
Newcastle.
Newcastle? Yeah,
Like, we're level on, if I'm not mistaken, we're level on points with Fulham. It's like, and that would be one thing if it felt like Chelsea, if everything wasn't getting rebranded to CFC London. But we're not getting the results, and we're seeing signs of our club falling apart. Like, like, and you just don't really feel like, and like Chelsea anymore to an extent. Like, I'm here talking. I'm 14 years old. I've been watching football for what 8-9 years. Then I was at the Champions League parade when I was a baby. But what about them? Like, I know some people don't like her. Some people love her. Do you know that CFC Cafe? What about people like that? Her and what about like people from her generation? How are they going to look at this? We've seen Dave Johnson speak on Talksport saying he'd rather us get relegated. Like,
no, I would never ever want that. Ultimately, my love for the football club will always outweigh the hate for the ownership. Like, ultimately, as long as Chelsea is doing well and having success and winning trophies, I don't care who owns the club.
yeah,
If we were doing well right now, if we were doing well, if we were competing, if we were winning, then obviously the ownership is still an issue, but it's less of an issue because the results on the pitch are good. Everything gets heightened because we're doing badly as well. Now, just because you're doing well, it doesn't mean that the problems aren't there. It doesn't take the problems away, but it doesn't bring the problems to the forefront of everybody's minds.
yeah.
But for me, like, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I would never want Chelsea to lose, to get relegated, just to kind of prove a point, sort of thing.
But I understand what you're saying, right? And I've got like, lots of respect for it and stuff. But what people are saying is it's not about the success. There's been so many people that have seen us in like the equivalent of League One back
Yeah, of
40,
course.
50 years ago. Maybe it's and like for a lot of people, especially the older guys, I'm in the middle of it personally. I'm in the middle of you and like a Dave sort of thing. But for some people, it's not about the success, right? Obviously, we're a massive club. Obviously, at the moment, obviously some success is demanded, but also, like as I've said, I understand the business side. But when does we need to realise that about it being a football club, not just a business?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's kind of where they've gone massively wrong is they're not running this as a football club. They're running it as a business. Now, I understand football clubs are a business, but your main priority's got to be success on the pitch. When you're signing players and your first thought is not on improving the team, your first thought is how much can I still sell this player for a decent fee in 2, 3, 4 years' time? That's when you're going to have problems. When you're signing players to sell for a profit rather than signing players to improve the team, rather signing players to make an impact right now, rather signing proven experience, proven quality to help get you over the line, then you are going to run into a number of issues and a number of problems. And like, it is salvageable this season. This kind of model is salvageable. Like the underlying idea is not terrible. You sign young players, but you need to mix them with some some established proven quality. And with the money we've spent, the quality we've got in the squad's nowhere near good enough. And we should be competing for Premier League titles with the money spent. But we've wasted so much money on players who aren't good enough. We've wasted so much money on players who 6 to 12 months time in and out the club
Yeah.
already. So yeah, it's tricky, but we need 3 or 4 players. And the fact that we keep saying we need 3 or 4 players, and we're almost 4 years in now, and £1.5, £2 billion deep in investment, is just gross mismanagement at the highest level.
You say we need 3 or 4 players, and this is just in my opinion. I think we need 2 centre backs. I think we need, even though Sanchez has been all right, I think we still need another keeper. We need a better left winger.
Yeah,
and we need a striker. That's 5 already.
I would agree. I would agree. Look, I think we can get away with getting 1 centre back. If you get 1 starting quality centre back, goalkeeper, that's 2. I think you need a striker, 3. It's 4 or 5. Midfield, left wing. It is 4 or 5.
Even another right winger, maybe.
Probably. But you're looking at 4. You're looking at 4 or 5 players that Chelsea need, and
also,
you can go and do that in a transfer window. But
you can.
They won't do that. They'll keep doing what they've been doing. Making sideways and backwards moves in the market.
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And obviously, I don't know if you've seen, there's been some news a bit behind the scenes that the owners want to sell Pedro Neto next season. I don't know how true it is, something I've heard. Um, but if that is the case, then there's got then, and then if he does get sold, then I think we do we do another protest, and I honestly think we should all do something on a monthly because what you're saying, obviously, we've won 2 trophies and understand that. But once we actually start winning a couple of trophies like we've done, manager straight out the door. Doesn't make sense.
Well, no, but he obviously wasn't sacked for results. He walked out because he couldn't work under
I
those
think it was
current
50-50.
conditions. So,
It was
um,
50-50. No, I think it was, but I get what you're saying. Obviously, Maresca decided when to leave when the fans were singing "Don't know what you're doing." We've now figured out that the owners were telling him what players he's allowed to play. But I do think the owners wanted him gone. I do think it's a 50-50 thing. I think if Maresca didn't take the actions himself, the owners would have just sacked him.
I
Maresca
don't
didn't.
think they would. I don't think they would have sacked him. Like, if everything was fine and he was getting on with them, he'd still be here. But he's got he's got his beliefs, and he stood by what he believes, and he left. But yeah, look, we got to find a way of picking some results up. Champions League football's looking very difficult right now. And we've got to do something over the second half of the season that we've shown no signs of being able to do over the first half of the season, which is in what we've played 21 games. There's 17 games left.
Yeah,
Realistically, we probably need to win 10 of them.
yeah. No, at very least.
And we've won, and we haven't won 10 games this season yet.
You're correct. Right, we've got another guest in the building. Joseph, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. Sorry for the
You're
lateness, but it was
you're
out playing football. So
Yeah,
yeah.
me and Charlie are talking obviously about the managerial situation and stuff. I just want to hear your beliefs. Like, what do you think? Like, would you think, see Maresca leaving? Do you think that was more him getting sacked or him walking out?
I think it was more him walking out. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, like there were news reports floating around before the actual announcement saying that he wanted to leave because I mean we know now that a lot of the rotation that he had to make was coming from above him.
yeah.
So I mean I'm sure Charlie would agree with this as well. Like we've all seen the reports. So
No, he was
yeah,
saying that's the thing. No, I think it was 50-50 if I'm being honest, but obviously I do kind of get it. I think that even though yes, it felt like Maresca kind of more walked out, I thought he would have got sacked anyway.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, should we go player by player? Just give them a little match rating quickly. If is that cool,
Um,
you guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be fine.
Right, we'll start with Charlie, then we'll go from me, Charlie, then you.
Yeah.
So in goal, Robert Sanchez. I'd go. I don't know. I don't think he done much wrong. Maybe a 6.
Yeah, I think a 6 is fair. I think could have probably done better with the save. I think could have done better from the Jimenez header potentially,
Yeah,
but
same,
yeah, he was fine. Yeah, I think a 6 is fair.
Yeah, go on.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree with Charlie with what he said about the Raul Jimenez goal. Like he
Yeah,
did get a hand to it, but he should have saved it. I was going to give him a 5.
5. Fair
So
enough. Cucurella, I'm gonna give him a 5. Maybe it could be seen as a bit generous. Obviously, got a red
No,
card.
very generous. I'll give him a 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
the
I
thing
mean,
is, like, yeah, he wasn't really doing much before the red card, and then he gets that like another goal scoring opportunity. Like
yeah,
it puts the rating much lower. Like I was
no, cool.
4 at best, but I'm gonna give him a 3.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm just trying to be fairly generous here, but no, I think like you could argue he needed to make the challenge, but I don't think he did, mate. Like even if we went the goal down, we
Well, he
should have.
didn't need to make the challenge like that.
No, I didn't exactly.
Yeah.
And no, fair enough. Should we do the centre backs next, or should we go?
Yeah, yeah, centre backs. Who started? Was it Chalobah and Tosin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, did they even do anything?
I'll probably give both of them like 5s. I think they're just average.
No. I was thinking the same thing because like I didn't really notice them. Like I didn't think Josh was good actually.
By the way, I'm not sure if you guys agree with this, but the reason why I think Tosin started was to get his value up to try and sell him. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
No, I don't know. I think it's valid. I'm not too sure. If you look, I'll get the lineup up because there were a few players which we could have definitely forgot played like with the centre backs. Right, cool. Right, we've got the lineup here. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'd say I'll give centre backs a 5. Malo Gusto, I'm going to give him a 6.5. He wasn't amazing at times, but I think he showed a lot of effort. I think he put his body at the line a few times, and I don't know. I just think I think he done all right.
Yeah, he was all right. Like nothing amazing, but nothing particularly noteworthy that was bad. I think probably a 5 or a 6 is fair for him.
Yeah. What about you, mate? Joseph?
Yeah, Gusto. I mean, I will say he has been sort of okay recently. Like he hasn't done much wrong, but again, low bar is.
This is quite controversial. I think he's been our best player this season. Him and Neto. Like I think he's been really good a lot of this season. He's had games where we could counteract that argument, but I think in general he has been all right this season. And I think most games he's one of our better players.
You know what you said there about being like one of our best players this season. Like I'll actually want to reword that. He's been one of the most improved players, definitely.
But you know what? I would even say he's probably been one of the better.
Because you remember like how he was when Maresca first came in.
No,
he looked out of sorts because of the system.
Awful.
But then
he
started to get into it.
Can I just say, I don't know if you lot agree, but we've got the best fullbacks in the Premier League by miles. We've got Malo Gusto, Reece James. We've got Cucurella and Jarrell Hato, who can still develop.
I mean,
and we're gonna have Valentin.
You could argue that over ability. You could.
And also, we might be getting Valentin Barco as well.
We don't need him. He's not a fullback anyway. He was moved into midfield because defending was poor.
I don't know. Yeah, but it'd be a pretty tasty backup left back but then I don't know what you do with Hato. I get what you're saying. I don't know. Should we move on to the midfield?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Cool. We've got Audrey Santos. I mean,
well, he played about 20 minutes, didn't he?
I'll be honest. I don't know why I got hooked off so early. Like, genuinely, like I know we got the red card, but I would have kept him on if I'm being honest.
Some stats if you lot to look at quickly. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to rate. I just give him a 5.
Well, he didn't play. He didn't really play long enough. He didn't really have an impact on the game, but he didn't do anything necessarily wrong. So yeah, 5's probably fair.
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like 5, like he didn't play enough. I was a bit surprised he got taken off that early.
Fair enough. Enzo Fernandez.
Not great. I'll probably give him a 6. Not as influential as he has been in previous games.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5 to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, same what Charlie said. Not influential enough. Like sometimes he plays well in the 10, but this time I don't really think he did much. So I'm gonna give him max 6.
Pedro Neto. This is going to be pretty controversial, but I think he's a 7.
Are you joking? He was terrible.
No, I understand what you're saying, but he put triple the effort than anyone else, and I think considering
he was terrible. He gets a 4 from me. He was awful.
I think to be fair, you're probably a bit more accurate on that, but I just think like considering how burnt out he looks at certain times, he tries so hard for the badge. Like
sure, he tries hard, mate, but he's been poor.
But then honestly, I didn't see that much effort from the rest of the boys, and they were poor. So I don't know. I feel like if you give Enzo Fernandez a 6 or 6.5, you've got to give Neto a 7. But
No,
that's not.
mate, Neto was awful. I'll give him 4. He's terrible.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Cole Palmer. Now, I'm gonna give him a 5. I think he's got. I think the criticism's gone a little bit too far, but at the same time, his recent form's not been good enough, and it is very, very simple. And I saw your appearance, Yost, on Blues Fans TV, and you said that very, very well. The way you said that, and a lot of people
Yeah.
responded well to that.
Thank you very much for that, because it does need to be addressed, because this isn't the Cole Palmer we know. Let's be honest here. It isn't the Cole Palmer we know.
This isn't
Like-
the Chelsea we know.
Oh, well, exactly. Like, we know Cole Palmer can be so much better, and we know our club can be so much better at the moment, but the whole situation is just, it's a shambles, like I've said.
I just want to ask you guys a quick question before we move on to that. Like, they were singing chants about Tosin. Was it just me that was very tempted to start joining in? I can't stand the Tosin. And like, when I look at him, I just get angry and just think of the ownership.
Nah, I mean,
This is what our club has come to.
And then, but the ironic thing about our fan base is we're saying this, and within 2 months' time, we'll be singing "We Want Our Chelsea Back," and then back to this 5 months later. The Chelsea.
Let's just say there was a lot of hostility in the ground towards Egbali. Let's just say that.
In school, you learn about the life cycle of a caterpillar. I feel like we should start studying the life cycle of Chelsea Football Club. Know what one I'd focus on.
Let's just say, if you want to be a Chelsea fan, just be prepared for heart attacks. That's all I'm saying. Be prepared to be disappointed with yourself.
Liam Delap got the goal. Still weren't overly impressed with him, but we're playing low block football against Fulham. Please, people, wake up. Low block football against Fulham. All right, I get we were the 10.
Like,
still,
I thought Delap was decent. I would have given him a 7. I thought it was promising. Took the goal. He was running in behind. His hold-up play was a lot better than it's been. This was probably his best performance for Chelsea, I'd say. I know there's not been that many this season. He's been injured a few times, but yeah, I think there's something there to work with, and this was probably his best in a Chelsea. I would give him probably a 6.5 or a 7. I thought he was probably, him and Hatter were the only 2 positives on the night.
Even Hatter, I didn't think was like. I think he was okay, but even Hatter didn't really massively impress me.
I do agree that the Delap is one of his best performances in the Chelsea shirt. Well, probably the best, because, I mean, I will say, he should have scored 2. That chance he had before the goal, like, I don't know why he tried to chip the keeper. Like, just put your foot through it.
Yeah, mate, he always does it. That's Liam Delap for you, lad.
Yeah,
it's like one thing I'll say, right? I don't know, but I guess you guys have that friend that's always late. If that friend is always late, you don't keep moaning that you don't ask him to meet you at 1 o'clock and moan that he's there at 5 past. You don't moan that he's late.
Sometimes you do have that one person, but
yeah, mate, the lab just loves a chip too much. Though I don't know about you, Charlie, but it is annoying, to be fair.
Well, look, he probably should have put his foot through it. And yeah, hopefully next time he gets in that position again, he will do that.
Hopefully. Yeah. So I just feel like I've lost hope, honestly. As they say, we want our Chelsea back. All right. Yeah, here we are. And Charlie, I know you haven't got long. But is this because Joseph, you're 18, Charlie, you're in your 20s, I think.
Well, I'm a little bit older, but I'm not I'm out of the 20s now, but
old age pensioner, right?
Old compared to you, mate, yeah.
But obviously, like, I'd say we all represent the sort of younger fan base, right?
Yeah.
But saying that, you're still probably 15 years older than I am if I was to do a rough estimate.
I'll be double your age, yeah.
Yes. And I don't know, what way do you look at it? And like, explain the evolution of Chelsea that, like, obviously from the Roman Abramovich era, because you were I don't know, was you sort of following Chelsea when we won that first Champions League?
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course. Yeah, long before then. Yeah, no, look, obviously we've gone through the 20 years, everyone knows about that, the success and all that. And now obviously they're going in a different direction, trying to operate in a different way. And things obviously aren't as good. Whoever took over, things weren't going to be the same. It was always going to be something different. It was always going to be a new Chelsea as such. I just didn't think it would be as bad as it's been so far. You always have a little bit of hope that maybe something might change. But they seem pretty stubborn. They seem pretty wedded to the idea, the model, the route that they want to go down in regards to running the football club. And things might have to get even worse than they are now before they get better, before maybe some change is implemented. So it's been a decline. It's been a major change. It's not what we're used to, although we have gotten a bit more used to it over the last sort of 3-4 seasons. But yeah, it's difficult right now because there's not really a lot of positives at all to speak about when discussing Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you smash like, smash subscribe. It's been Jacob, Charlie, and Liam Delap lookalike. Joseph, have a nice one. Cheers.